Hello players, welcome to another film study where I help players learn the game and get better. Today we're going to be studying the game of Anthony Davis. This film session is focused on post play and offensive post moves. First, as I do in all my videos, I have some free shooting workouts and drills. You can get yours. All you have to do to get these is sub to my channel, comment your Instagram handle below, and then I will DM you to your Instagram handle. Or what you can do is just DM me a screenshot of your subscription to my channel and send that to @MasonWaters_. The things we're going to be looking at in this video focuses on post play, but the first teaching point I want to teach players is the quote, secure, see, and score. This is the process you should have offensively when you're in the post. So if you're posting up on the block, if you catch the ball in the mid post where you're 8, 10, 12 feet from the rim and you face up, the process is always the same. You have to first secure the ball. Second, you have to see the floor. And then third, you have to score, which means make the right play. That doesn't mean you're the one who's putting the ball in the basket. It could mean the score is you pass it to an open teammate on the perimeter. It could be a teammate cuts to the rim and you hit them and they're open for a layup. Whatever it is, remember the process of secure, see, and score. Now, some other things that we're going to look at in this video are these 7 things right here. So a jab and a counter, jab, stepping between the feet, pass fake. You can read all 7 of these, but these are the things we're looking at for offensive post play. And the key with all of these moves is that all of these create advantages on post-ups. Playing basketball and scoring on your opponent is all about creating advantages. And we'll look at a couple here. So these first couple clips are just jab series. So this was a very, very simple jab right there from Anthony Davis on Jokic. The key I like here is the change of speed. Well, let me go back and say, if we go back to the process of secure, see, and score, we can see right here Anthony Davis does this. So first, he secures the ball, and he catches it right here. So right here, it's on his hip. It's away from the defense. He secures the ball, and now he's seeing the floor. So you can see he opened up, and he dropped his left foot. So his left foot goes from here and then drops. And now by pivoting this way, he's able to see the whole floor. So if any one of these 4 defenders were to leave and double team, or they just turn their head, fall asleep, and somebody hits a backdoor cut, well, Anthony Davis can see that. Remember, secure and then see the floor. Now, after he makes his read, he sees that there's not going to be any help defense, so he takes one-on-one with Jokic, and he has a simple jab. A very, very simple jab. The basketball on this one doesn't even, like on most jabs, I show players rip the ball down to your knee, but this jab is unique because you can see with his right hand, he really just fakes an inside-out dribble. So he brings his hand over the top of the ball like he's about to attack to his left, and he dribbles the basketball really quickly before he moves his right pivot foot so that it's not a travel. And then what he does once he gets by the defense, you've got to still protect the ball right here. So he's still protecting the ball. He's low. His shoulder is into the defense, and he gets to the rim, opposite side of the rim for a finish. Now, this one is similar. Very tough reverse layup. But again, he's going to have a jab. And this time the jab is a little bit wider, and the ball movement is different. So here, he's bringing the ball just from hip to other hip, and he's ripping it really quick. Whereas in the other one, he was faking kind of an inside-out dribble by moving his hand over the top of the ball. But this one is a quick hip-to-hip rip. The defense doesn't really bite on that, but this is where a counter move comes into play. So the primary move is this jab step. The secondary move is driving middle, and all Anthony Davis does is he has a counter to that, which is a spin move. The defense cuts him off. The defense is chest is directly in front of Anthony Davis's driving line, so he's going to spin and finish at the rim. Now, one thing for most players, this is a very, very, very tough finish, a reverse layup like this. So if you're performing this move in a game and you go jab, dribble middle, they cut you off, and then you spin baseline, I would suggest for most middle school, high school, and college players, well, if you're athletic enough to just go dunk it, I would do that. But if you can get on 2 feet right here and finish on the left side of the rim and use a shot fake, draw contact, I advise that for most players. But Anthony Davis is Anthony Davis. All right, so now this is just another jab game. that's about spacing. So the key to point here is that Anthony Davis has a mismatch. First of all, hardly anybody can guard Anthony Davis, but especially this matchup right here. But what's happening here is Anthony Davis, you can tell he's looking at Gerald Green, and what he's telling Gerald Green to do is he's saying, go to the opposite side of the floor, because if you take your defender to the opposite side of the floor, now I can drive right here. But as it stands right now, the defense is right in my way if I drive. So Anthony Davis is saying, you can see him right here, he's just waiting for Gerald Green to clear out. Meanwhile, he's making some quick, small jabs just to respect the show the defense. And he gets with an easy right hand. So right there, his jabs in this circumstance, he's just jabbing to keep the defense off of him, off pressure. And then he's also just using a jab to buy time and to make reads. But he secured the ball, saw the floor, and then he scored. Now, from the defense's perspective, if you're ever in a situation and you're isolated and you have three help defenders to your right, and then right now there's one help defender to this guy's left, but right now this is the help defender, but as Gerald Green cuts, now there's no help in this area. So from the defense's perspective on the ball, you've got to channel and direct the offensive player into the help. So what the defense made a mistake here. As soon as he turned and goes right there, he's saying, okay, Anthony Davis, you can drive to your right hand. He should have stayed at this angle and forced him to where there was more help. Also, that was Anthony Davis's strong hand going to his right. But if you can, great defenders know where your help is and they funnel the ball handler to the help. That's what should have happened here. All right, right here, there was just one thing I wanted to point out in this circumstance. This is a very tough shot. But we're going to watch it again, see if you notice where he steps. See if you notice where he steps with his right foot. Steps right between the feet of the defense. So what'll happen a lot of times, like guards who are perimeters, when they're being pressured with the ball, they'll step between their defender's legs like this to get the defense off of them. But it's also a good move for the low post to create position. So you can see very simply, instead of, jabbing to the side or jabbing to the left, Anthony Davis's right foot goes right between the defense's feet, and then he's able to step back off that right foot into a jump shot. Now, the contact that Anthony Davis made here was not extra physical. Like, he doesn't bury his right shoulder into the defense's chest. He still creates space. But if you can step closer into the defense and get your right hip into their hip area and create some contact without creating a charge, that is going to be a good offensive situation. Okay, this right here, the way this clip was where I get film, it just cut the play off right here, so we weren't able to see the full play. But the key I wanted to point out here is driving angles and driving lines. So let's look at just this scoring situation from the defensive perspective and the offensive perspective. So the defensive perspective, Paul Millsap, he won. Obviously, he wants to try and stay in front of the ball, but he also does not want to give up scoring position. In other words, he doesn't want Anthony Davis to bump Paul Millsap backwards so that Anthony Davis can create space to score. Also, Paul Millsap, he wants to funnel Anthony Davis as he's dribbling. He wants to funnel him right into the baseline and force him out of bounds. Offensively, what Anthony Davis wants to do is he wants to bang, he wants to be physical, he wants to use his left shoulder to get Paul Millsap out of position to create a scoring situation. So the key here is players, when you're working on scoring in the post, you've got to work offensively and defensively on situations like this. From the defensive perspective, you are sliding your feet, you are staying low, and you're using your chest to keep the ball handler off balance and to own your space and not letting him get to the rim. And then from the offensive perspective, you've got to work on using your inside shoulder to create contact with the defense and just be able to dribble by them through all this physicality from the defense. And then it's a 2-foot left-hand finish on this. But the main point on this clip is the physicality, using your shoulder, being physical offensively and defensively in the post. Okay, so this is a skill that I think is very underutilized. whenever I work with post players, I always teach pass fakes out of the post, but this is very simple. Just how the jab creates an offensive advantage, just how a shot fake creates an offensive advantage. So a shot fake does the same, or a pass fake does the same thing. So obviously Caruso give and go, just a pass fake, that's enough for the defense to slide over and bite on that pass. Now since this defender bites on it, Anthony Davis has one dribble and a dunk. I don't think most players watching this can perform a dunk like that, but what you can do is still get to the rim in one dribble, then do a jump stop, and then finish however you'd like. But very simple, use pass fakes when you can out of the post. Now this situation is about winning the mismatch and identifying the mismatch. So right here, the whole team realizes somehow or another George Hill got locked onto Anthony Davis. Guards have to notice this that have the ball, and wing players and perimeter players who don't have the basketball also have to realize this, like Caruso, Green, and I can't really tell who's in the corner. Those three offensive players also have to realize this mismatch, and they have to space out so that help defenders can't collapse down. Now, Anthony Davis in this clip, I'm going to run it through all the way. Post up, doesn't want to get a 3 seconds, and they just toss it up. That's a pretty wild finish, and you can see a couple defenders still get in there and contest the shot. But Anthony Davis, he creates position right here, seals him up, and he's just saying, hey, throw the ball up top right here. Now, what Caruso should have done on the perimeter right here, he should have just stayed where he's at, or Caruso could have just ran right here, right across the rim, so that this help defender, I think this is, I can't tell what that is. So this defender on the weak side could run all the way over, then there'd be less help. But this situation is just about winning the mismatch, identifying the mismatch, posting up on the smaller defender, and really demanding and calling for the ball. All right, this move is just about changing speeds. And in this one, we can go back to the first slide, which is secure the ball, see the floor, or scan the floor, and then score. So right here, Anthony Davis, he catches the ball, he secures the ball, and specifically securing the ball right here means that the basketball is on his back hip. He doesn't have the ball exposed out in front of him so that the defense can hit it, but he's got the ball on his back hip. Both his hands are protecting it, and then what he's going to do is he's going to change speed. So he's going to have 2 or 3 back down dribbles, and then he's going to sprint across the lane into a hook shot. Changing speeds, whether you're a guard, a forward, whatever position you are, changing speeds is vital to good offensive play. And one more thing, too, we talk about spacing. Avery Bradley does a good job in this clip because he was going to clear out to the corner, but what would be a negative? If he goes out to the corner, this brings his defender, Jamal Murray. Let's say Jamal Murray would end up at the L. Well, now if Jamal Murray's at the L, just imagine this defender is at the L as Anthony Davis is dribbling now. You know, if the defender's right here, Anthony Davis couldn't see him. So Avery Bradley spaces out to the opposite side of the floor. And this is good now because as Anthony Davis is backing down and he's looking over his left shoulder, he knows where his defender is, but he can also see 1, 2, 3, 4 help defenders. So the spacing of the perimeter guys allows for better vision in the post. All right, I like this one for 2 reasons. One, we can call this a dive. You know, and there could be pick and roll situations where I know this isn't a pick and roll, this is just a straight up dive, but you know, as the big man sets the screen and they're diving to the rim, a lot of times they'll catch the ball and the defense will be right in front of them. This is just a straight dive to the rim. Looks like they might have been looking for a pick and roll, but just bailed on it. But either way, as the big is running into a pass and the defense is right in front of this is a vital skill post players, bigs need to have, is the ability to land on 2 feet, because if Anthony Davis catches this ball and he just keeps running, what's going to happen? It'll be a charge or some sort of turnover most likely. So the ability to stop on 2 feet as you dive or roll to the rim as the defense cuts you off, stop on 2 feet. But then from there, I love the shot fake, getting the defender up in the air, and then getting an and one. This is not utilized enough, the shot fake, defense up in the air, jaw foul. These are skills post players need to have. Okay, so don't do this. Well, he's going to get away with it, but I'll tell you why not to do this. But first, let me tell you, sometimes in basketball, I do air quotes saying the wrong thing, but sometimes players do the wrong thing, quote unquote wrong thing, and still get away with it, especially a guy like Anthony Davis, who's one of the best players in the history of the world. He's going to be able to do the wrong thing and get away with it. But players at most other levels and most other players altogether, you don't want to post up driving baseline with your back to the rest of the defense. In the former clips, we've talked about how, let's go back. We've talked about, so like backing down in this situation is fine because he can see all four help defenders. From this angle, it's a bad angle of a back down because Anthony Davis can't see any of the four help defenders. So if no matter what happens with the rest of the 8 players on the weak side, Anthony Davis can't see it. So typically, and ask your coach about this, but typically I think posting up with, especially from the, like he's in the mid to high post right here. He's catching it one stride inside the 3-point line. Posting up, attacking the rim from down here and going into this situation where your chest is towards the baseline and you can't see any of the help defense, that is not a good situation because this right here, you can see Josh Hart, he tries to collapse down. Most players would get that steal, but Anthony Davis still gets through it. And then from the defense's perspective, so if you are ever in a situation where you see the opposing team's big man, they try to attack or post up with their back to the rest of the help defense, go sprint and try to get a steal or a trap unless your coach says otherwise. But this is a great opportunity to just go right to the back of the defense, poke the basketball out, and get a steal. And I know he scores, but still stuff to learn in there. All right, offensive rebounding, positioning right here, very simple. This is very, very simple. It's just about fighting for the rebound. It's about effort. It's about hustle. But right here, in this situation, the offense has best rebounding position because the defense has better rebounding position because they're already inside. Anthony Davis is on the outside. But what he does here is he has a little rip move. He gets inside the defense, and Anthony Davis is kind of standing up, but he's lower than his opponent, which allows him to create space and create positioning for the rebound. So right there, it's just about getting under your defense, getting between your matchup and the rim to create position for a rebound. Now, this is a very simple move right here, but this is a move that bigs need to practice in their training. Is just, there's a lot of moves and reads you can do out of a pick and roll, but one of them is just when the ball handler rejects the screen, they dribble away from you, you take a step back from the passer, and you're just going right into the jump shot. I think this is you can incorporate this move right here into your pregame workout. You could do 50 reps passing from, 50 reps from the left wing, 50 reps from the right wing during your workout, whatever. This is just a good, simple move you need to be able to practice, be able to knock this shot down. Okay, right here, one of the most frustrating things that I experienced as a guard when I played, I wasn't that good, so don't want to act like I'm LeBron James out here. But one of the things, I was a decent player. Okay, enough about me. One of the things that bigs often, middle school, high school level, they often don't have their hands ready. So many players, so many guards, make this pass, and the post player doesn't have their hands ready. They miss the catch. They think they're going to shoot it, and they're already looking at the rim. Whatever. For whatever reason, they just aren't ready for the pass, don't have their hands ready. But right here, a couple things, very simple. Anthony Davis has his hands ready. He's looking at the basketball. And then 2, he's smart enough to realize that the best defenses, whenever this happens, whenever the Anthony Davis's defender here, Whiteside, whenever the big's defender slides over to try to block a shot, most great defenses, the next defender is going to rotate down or collapse down and try to go for the ball. Anthony Davis, he knows that's coming. You can tell he's looking over his shoulder right here to the defense, but he steps in, he meets the pass. He also protects the basketball from this collapsing defender, so he knows this defender's coming, so he keeps the ball on the left side of his body here, goes up for a finish. So that's very simple basketball right there. We just looked at a bunch of stuff. So we looked at jab series. You can see in the blue here, looked at reading the defense, looked at reading help, looking up, jabbing between the feet, owning the angle, pass fakes. All this stuff is just designed to create an advantage on offense. I hope that you guys learned this, whether from an offensive perspective or a defensive perspective. I'm just going to let the film play here. But from an offensive perspective, from a defensive perspective, from guards, forwards, post players, I hope you learned something in this video that will help you be a better player. If you want those free workouts, there we go with the dunk. If you want those free workouts, follow the instructions that I listed at the beginning of the video. But other than that, I'll let these clips play out and play the music here as we go out. Thanks for watching. I'll be working on more videos soon, and take care.